whispering ramble here today. No gum, no views. No, I want to throw these in from time to time a little more often than I have been. Just because, you know what, I want to just do a whisper ramble one time, from time to time, just go. Throw in some noises. Well, I tend to make noises sometimes when I'm making videos. Like I'll start humming a bit. I'll throw that in periodically and some hand motions as well. Stuff like that. Maybe some repeating of words as well. Positivity, positivity, positivity. Book. All trigger words as well. Whatever, and then rambling, throwing some hand motions, maybe repeating some words, some trigger words. Get some random noises in, some humming, and just mouth sounds. Just gonna good old ramble. It's starting to warm up a little bit. It was like about 50 today. It's been cold here. There's actually a little snow. I might have mentioned that in another video the other day. They actually closed the schools, I believe, for it. Which I kind of am like, it makes sense in the sense that I think the ice is the concern, not the snow. All the roads, it didn't stick to the roads. It was like a half inch maybe. I think it's because there's a lot, like even us, we're like at the base of it's a small mountain hill, whatever. It's considered a mountain, I believe, and throughout the town, it's very, up, down, hills, valleys. I think the concern, I would think, is the buses. If there's ice or something, it'll patch ice, it's gonna be a problem. But so I can see where it's coming from. But part of me giggles a little bit because I'm like, in New York. In New York, it's not like on Long Island. You'd get like Long Island was weird. Like funny enough, I'm like, here comes the snow down here, right? We're not expecting much, if any. Although the neighbors said, yeah, we can get an inch or two a year. But it's definitely colder than normal here. It's about 15 degrees cooler than it normally is this time of year here. But it's like funny. The last 2 years on Long Island, we literally got like nothing of the snow. It was crazy like that. Long Island, you usually get like, you'd have a year of an inch or two for a season, and the next year it'll be like 50 inches, which once again, compared to some of these Great Lake states that are getting crushed, they get 5 feet, 6 feet in a shot, So Long Island was never terrible for snow. You'd get a 2-footer from time to time, and a lot of, 12 to 18 inches, those would be like a big one. But Long Island's weather is very just, it's like, okay, this is a winter of nothing. The next year, here's 2 massive storms and a couple of smaller ones in between. The summer isn't hot at all. The summer's disgusting and gross. But it was kind of fun. It was like, here we go. We're going to get record snow here probably, right? I was like, oh no. But it went away. It melted away already. So, but I do understand why they would close schools for the ice situation, because it was extremely cold. It was like in the 20s throughout most of the day. So I understand that, and that's the thing you don't, you got to be concerned with. It is the ice. So I understand why they would do that. They would do it. And here's the thing, they might have a couple of allotted snow days a year. How often do they actually ever use them? They probably just like, screw it, use it. Even if they don't think there's going to be an ice problem, they're just like, use it. But even like people going into late in work and stuff, it's just an interesting kind of thing to see compared to Long Island. What else? I picked up this game on Xbox yesterday's Origins. It was like $1.62 after tax on the Xbox store, so I was like, I'm getting it. Screw it, And I'm like, it's cool. It's very kind of like that old school, like, you're gonna need to walk through from time to time, because it's like, you have to examine every person yourself, the interest points. You're picking up all types of items and interacting. You gotta combine certain things, use certain things with other kind of dialogue options or things you get. Like, you gotta figure out this you want to examine everything in this game, talk to everybody, exhaust all the dialogue options. But it's cool. It's a very old school looking game. It reminds me a lot of, in the look more so, just like it reminds, and in the kind of the gameplay a little bit, it reminds me of like the Broken Sword games. But it's pretty cool so far, pretty cool story. Like, your character starts in the Inquisition. I don't know if there was a first one or not, because there's a part where I'm looking through a bunch of photos, and he's talking about like his last adventure or something, and I was like, what, was there another one? But there's a lot, like, takes place in the Inquisition, and you've been like transmutated. That's the thing, you're looking at like the Devil's Book, and all of a sudden he can read it, your character, it's about transmutation, and then you end up getting, guy transmutates you, and some other people end up getting it, your girlfriend, I don't know at what point. But you've been around for like 500 years at this point, so, you know, it's a pretty good mystery type story, pretty fun game, honestly. And you'll just get like random achievements, because you'll start doing things, interacting with things, just randomly trying to figure something out, and I'll be like, oh, you did this, and you're like, what? Pretty cool game, though. Definitely worth that price. I think it's maybe $10 normally, which would be a good price for it, too, I think. I mean, I don't know how long it is. I've probably put about maybe 2-3 hours into it. Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, I'd say maybe about that. You spend a lot of time just looking and grabbing and everything, examining everything in whatever area you're in. What else? The Christmas parade is tomorrow in town. I don't know if we're going to go to that or not. And then there's a Christmas craft fair the following weekend. Definitely check that out. That should be fun. Just do 3 random things, and some deep breathing exercises, like when you're at the doctor. In, out, in. I just ordered. I do this periodically, about 3 times a year, 2 to 3 times a year, randomly. I start looking for starting lineup figures on eBay. I'm like, oh, what do I can find? I actually bought 3 the other day, or 2 yesterday. Oh no, 2. Yes, well no, 1 today, 2 yesterday, or I don't know. Might have been 1 yesterday, 1 the day before. One is actually a player from this team, and it's not Clyde Drexler. I always liked them. I had a ton when I was a kid. You know, they came out in the first game. Basketball, football, and baseball all started in 88 is when they originally came out. Hockey, 93 was the first year, I believe, that those came out. Because I want to say when I got I had some from 94 as well. Now I get them from Christmas a lot when I was a kid. By 94 it was, well, depending on what I would have gotten them. I would have 14 or 15. I don't know if maybe I got some more for Christmas at a point, or I just bought some myself. But I never opened them because, like, years later, I had sold them, like, 10 years ago. I found them in, like, a bin. It was baseball and some basketball ones. A lot of, like, random dudes. Except Barkley, Charles Barkley one on the Suns. There was a Stacey Augmon one on the Hawks. I liked Stacey Augmon, actually, when he was on Portland. There was a Dominique Wilkins on the Clippers, so he's not that random. He's obviously a great. And Sean Elliott, I believe. And there might have been like one more, and there was like JT Snow, I think, or Jim Thome, Eric Karros, the Dodgers. Like, there's some random ones. I ended up selling them. starting lineups, I think even like 10, 15 years ago, actually had a little more value than they do now. Certain ones, especially the earlier years, 88, 89, if you have them new, like certain players will sell for a couple $100. Like the Jordans, the early Jordans, but also like random guys, like a Chuck Person. He was also a good player too, but like guys that weren't as popular, I should say, not as some of the less popular players from those earlier years would sell well. And when we went to Canada back in Falls in Toronto, back in '94 actually, and I'd picked up a Griffey. I still have it sealed. I need to open it, although the bubble being cracked at some point. And it's not worth, even if I sold that new, if it was in perfect condition, probably sell for like $30, $40. It's not overly expensive. I think I paid $50 for it, US. It was like 57 Canadian. And I got a Brett Hall, which I still have. The Brett Hall, I still have the Griffey. And I found an Isaiah Thomas from '88 when I was cleaning out, right before my aunt had sold the house. She got a dumpster and I was throwing a bunch of stuff in it. Went in the garage. I opened a cabinet in the back. There's an Isaiah Thomas starting lineup in there. I was hoping there was more, but there wasn't. But I had a ton back then, like a lot of football. And I only had the Brett Hall hockey one up until I bought those few a couple of years ago, or whatever it's been now. Because I have bought some over the past like 3 years. So I want to kind of, if we get another bookshelf, I want to kind of dedicate maybe like 2 or 3 rows to these things because they're cool. And I was looking at McFarlane's. McFarlane's came along in probably like the early 2000s. I don't know exactly when, maybe a little earlier. And those were like the huge figures. They sold for more. I think starting lineup mostly stopped, at least from what I've looked. There's like a website you can look at. It tells you the years who was in them. 2000, I think, was most of them were dead and done. Maybe 2001 for certain sports. They had NASCAR ones, I think, at some point as well, and some other things. Maybe soccer. And they tried some other things too over the years, like bigger ones, and they had different kind of things. They had like 2 packs, which were kind of cool, like football ones. Like they have guys like a basketball one, be like 2 guy defending another guy or whatever. Then McFarlane came along, and then those were more detailed, bigger figures. I had some of those over the years that I would sell. Like I had a Kobe Bryant and a Ben Roethlisberger variant, because they did a lot of variants of those. And then I had a 3-pack, I think it was Sean Alexander, LaDainian Tomlinson, and maybe Priest Holmes. I had a Jake Delhomme at one point. I think I had it might have been Johnny Unitas, and like 1 or 2 more. I ended up selling them all. And I always considered getting more of those, like certain guys, like Bronco players and stuff, but they're not even that expensive on eBay. Some of them aren't, but it's like I'm not gonna, I like the starting lineups more my thing. That's what I had when I was a kid and stuff. They're only like this big, but really they were cool. And they even for the time, I remember they sold for maybe like $6 or $7 a figure, which would be expensive back then. Because usually you'd get GI Joes, you'd go up to you're a kid, you go up to the store with like $10, you realistically about 4 GI Joe figures for that price. Maybe 3, depending with the tax. They're usually about $3, $2.50, $3. Then they went up slowly over time, but. Yeah, so I picked up 3. I picked up a baseball. Maybe I'll do a video of it. I picked up a basketball player, a football player, and a baseball player. The football one I did have when I was younger. For sure, I know, because I remember that. I remember a lot of the football ones that I had out of the other ones, because I used to actually like set the football ones up and have fake games because they were in positions where you could kind of do that. So I got a bunch of those. I had a bunch of those back then, I think, in the living room floor when I was a kid. I'd set them up, had the defense and the offense and stuff. It's fun. But I did order 3 of those. Maybe I'll do an opening of them, because I plan on opening them. I'm not keeping them And the plus is, like, I was looking at ones, like, I'm like, I don't want to spend more than $15 on one. And a lot sell for, a lot sell in that kind of, like, above, a little above 15, like under 25 range. You could get, like, individual ones. And like I said, there's earlier ones that are expensive from, like, 88, 89. Certain players are a couple $100. But there's, I'm trying to think, like, the football ones I had, like, I went nuts with the football ones. I had a ton. You know, I had, like, Willie Gault, Mike Quick on the Eagles. I remember specifically for some reason. I had John Elway, I had Warren Moon, you know, like Jerry Rice, Montana, Roger Craig, I don't know, what was the guy's name? Was it John Carter, or Michael Carter or something? I had a Reggie White, Pat Swilling on the Saints, Thurman Thomas, like Bruce Smith, Andre Tippett, Irving Fryer. You know, like, there's so many dudes I had. Like, I think there's a Richard Dent, Lawrence Taylor. There might have been, I don't know if it was Maurice Carthon, another giant player, but I don't know if it was him or was it Harry Carson. I think I had Mark Gastineau on the Jets, Al Toon, Freeman McNeil. You know, you'd end up with so many of them. Because back in the 88, they had the checklist on the back. Like, the early couple of years, like, almost every team would have it, like, 3. Some teams would only get 2, but some would have, like, 4 or 5. Most had, like, 3. I remember baseball, like, the Mets had 5. The Dodgers, I think, had 5. The Yankees. Certain teams got more than other ones. Actually, I will show that when I get, well, on basketball, when I got it. I can't remember the year it was from. But it does have the checklist on the back of it. Some of the baseball ones, actually, the 88 year are actually pretty damn cheap. You can get sealed ones for under 18. And I don't care if I'm getting a busted up box with mine. I might even just buy lots of, you know, the figures, the loose figures. But you get cards with them. Sometimes they give you a poster or a coin, or whatever the year was. They throw in something a little different. Let me see, though, because I think 2 of the ones actually maybe all of the ones I had would have checklists on them. Let me see real quick. So I got one from 93, one from 92, one from 94. I mean, not from 91, 92, and 93, sorry. Okay, this one still has a checklist, but they definitely cut it down, even by 92. They cut it down. Look at the checklist. Only certain teams had 3. And that's a baseball one. Let's see, the football one is 91. Let's see how many they had. I'm looking at the bags from the pictures on eBay. Real quickly. Come on. Yeah, see the original listing. Yeah, say even the football one, they kind of cut down on. Although some teams have a lot. This is blurry. This picture was blurry. Oh no, it just came into focus. Yeah, certain. One team had 4 there. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7. Only 18 teams had them. Wow. 91 did not have a lot. That's crazy. I don't know if they were just not selling as well. But then I feel like other years after that had more, so I don't know. Let's check the 93 basketball, because I think they still had the checklist on them as well. And I see they just showed players on the back. They got rid of the checklist. Let me try to find, I don't know why I'm obsessing with this, but you know it's good. The earlier ones, like, there was tons of them. I think they sold extremely well, like the first 2 or 3 years, and I think they kind of slowed down. Probably didn't sell terribly, but they would start to not make that many. Like, you'd see only like 18 to 20, maybe even less in the later years, because I've been looking on that website that shows them all. I wasn't repeating the words, I forgot. Website. Glove. Ranch. Othello. Boxes. Flip. Mask. Symbol, symbol, symbol. Telescope, telescope, telescope. Pillow, pillow, pillow. James Sunderland loves his pillow, pillow, pillow. It's his weapon of choice. Yeah, but I'm happy to get those. Like, I get excited about, like, it's funny because, like, I try to collect things, but I lose interest. It happens a lot with the cards and stuff, right? The sports cards, like, I'll get a bunch, and then I won't give a shit for a while. I'm doing a similar thing with this, but I'm enjoying getting excited about, like, getting fresh ones, especially ones I didn't have back then. The one football, like I said, the one football one I got, I did have. The basketball and the baseball one, I'm pretty sure I didn't. I could have, sure, but I don't believe I did. I remember I had Isaiah Thomas. I had, like, Drexler back then, Patrick Ewing, Magic Johnson. I didn't have it. I want to say football I definitely had the most. Baseball probably second, and basketball third. And even when hockey came into a thing, I only had the Brett Hull. Now I have more of the hockey ones, but I'm trying to think of who other basketball players I might have had back then. Larry Bird, like a Robert Parrish, I think they made on the Celtics as well. I don't know if I had any Jordans. I might have, like, James Worthy on the Lakers, I believe. I'm trying to think. And the ones I talked about in 94, those ones. But I'm trying to think of, like, before that, like, earlier players. Maybe like a Karl Malone or something. I don't actually know if I had Karl Malone. I was looking at some Karl Malone ones. I don't think I had any Sean Kemps. I was looking at some Sean Kemp ones too, but they're a little past the $15 number. They had double packs too for each sport, which have like two players. Some would be like Super Bowl ones, so I had like Jamal Anderson on the Falcons, Terrell Davis on Denver, and have a little Super Bowl trophy. They did these with the hockey ones too, I have seen, where they had the Stanley Cup. And usually there's just two players on the same team, the cup winning team. I don't know if baseball and basketball did the kind of championship ones or not like that. They'll do like ones like I got the one with Terrell Davis in his Bronco uniform and then his college uniform, stuff like that. They also had like greats, all-time great guys they would make, the same similar to like the Johnny Unitas, McFarlane. They'd have those guys as well. You know, Terry Bradshaw, shit like that. And baseball ones, I would add like a lot of Yankees, a lot of Mets. You know, I had a bunch of baseball ones too. I remember like Mike Schmidt and Wade Boggs, Cal Ripken Jr., Griffey, even back then. But I remember like Dal Strawberry, Dwight Gooden, stuff like that. Don Mattingly, Matt Noakes when he was on the Yankees. But yeah, no good movies coming out. I was actually looking on Box Office Mojo. I just looked to see what movies are doing. I don't know why. They've only released under 600 movies this year, and they're probably only going to release maybe 10, 15 more, maybe like 20 more. And I was looking like 10 years ago, like they're pumping out like 900 movies a year were coming out in the theater. Now you're just over. Last year was 592. This year's at 592 at the moment. So that means a lot of these movies are. I mean, after COVID, I would assume things changed, and they don't release every little thing in the theater. But so many are going to like Netflix and Amazon or Apple exclusive, Netflix, Disney. Even Disney in general, I think some of their movies they won't even release in theater. They'll just have them immediately go to Disney Plus. Like, not that they're even specifically made for that. I think they just don't trust that they'll do enough in the box office. I don't know. But yeah, it's just a lot of the usual. I'm waiting for this cold snap to go away. It's supposed to be in the 60s again next week, so I'm excited about that. That's what we came down here for, some sweet 60s in December and January, right? The Inspector Gadget theme. love for these non-gum chewing videos to do better. So please, I can't tell you to view this if you're not going to see the title and not watch it. I should lie and put gum chewing in the title, and people are, where's the gum chewing? I don't know. It's there. You just can't hear. It's very subtle. I'm trying something new. I'm halfway through the first round of that tapping tournament. So, like I said, if you haven't voted on that, if you get this late in this video and you haven't voted on some of those and you want to, you'll see them. I have a playlist of those. You just type in tapping tournament too. It should come up. But yeah, it's going well. A lot of you seem to like it, which is good. And the third part of that, I did the interview role play with the Shady interview, and then I'm going to do another one of those with some findings and some stuff or whatever, so I'll be doing that one soon. I got a video I want to film in the garage at night that's going to be a little kind of like, I think I mentioned this in another video. I'm going to be like the Slip into Shadows video I did. Whenever that was, I could have been 6 or 7 years ago at this point. It's going to be similar to that. I forgot I had done that Dark Brotherhood Elder Scrolls roleplay. Maybe I'll, God, if I felt comfortable enough, like, filming in the little wooded area here, it would work fine. But now that the leaves are gone, you can see the house back there. And when the leaves are in, you can't see it. It's far enough away where I realistically can go in there, but it's like if anybody happens to see me in there, I got things set up like doing something weird in the woods. Like, I don't know. I think I can still do that. It's always an option, right? I do actually want to go in there and just kind of slightly explore one of these days. It's not a lot of area. It's nice, but it's not a lot, like a crazy area. But yeah, let's see, get this to about 30 minutes. I'm at 28 now. We just started a puzzle for Christmas, so we're doing that. Over the next, maybe next week we'll do it. Randomly every night, do a little bit. We were watching that. We watched it last year. Maybe it was last year, the year before. I think it was last year. It was 23's Christmas. I forget what it's called. That Eddie Murphy. I think it was a Netflix original. I think. I could be wrong, though. It's an Eddie Murphy Christmas movie. I can't remember what it was called, though. Pretty good, actually. I want to watch. We saw it in the theater, and then I have not seen it since. That the Haunted House remake. Eddie Murphy was in the original one. I think it was originally a Disney ride, right? But I liked that movie. I know it bombed in the box office, but I thought it was pretty good, actually. I liked it. I should see how much that is on Blu-ray. Let's check right now. Let's see first of all, look at Amazon and see how much they're selling it for. I think one day, maybe next year, I need to, if I want to expand the Blu-ray collection a little bit more, I need to get like a lot off of eBay of like 10 movies or something, maybe like a horror lot or something. Similar to video games, though, you see these lots and you're like, oh, it'll be like 10 games, but like there's 4 you don't want, and you're like, oh man. For me, it's like if it's just say 10, I need like 8 of them to be ones I want, because then I'm just wasting money on games I'm never gonna. I mean, not that I don't play certain games anyway, but it's just like I don't want to spend that money on a bunch of extra games I'm not gonna play. Movies, I guess it's a little bit different, but not really though, because there's plenty of movies I would just have no interest in. A Haunted Mansion. It's not called a Haunted House. It's called a Haunted Mansion. Right? What is it called? I think it's called. Is it Haunted? It's Haunted Mansion, right? Not Haunted House. There's a Haunted House movie. Isn't there a comedy? A Haunted House comedy. Yeah, 23 on Blu-ray. That's too much. Let's see what it's selling for on good old eBay. I'll end it on this, looking at eBay, and see if I can find it. I should have known that because I have the game too. which is actually pretty good. Let's see how much it is. Yeah, this one for $16.50, brand new. There's the Eddie Murphy one. I don't know why I called it a haunted house. That's the same shit, right? Yeah, that's a little cheaper. Depends, though. But yeah, that's just a whispering ramble here today. Let's go a little longer. Screw it. I do feel a shit of brewing, though. So, I might not be going too much further. I'll wear some diapers and do a freaking 8-hour ramble. No edits, just through. I'm going to the bathroom right here. Get the piss jug. HD piss jugs. You ever seen Trailer Park Boys HD piss jugs? That's one of the episodes called. Let's see horror Blu-ray. I did not. No, I don't want to save that. I try to type fast on the phone. It is a freaking disaster. It's bad. It's bad. Beat. Go Bayside. That was a Saved by the Bell thing. Oh, God. Let's take a... no, I don't. That already doesn't look great. 23 randomly chosen ones. Like, what? Here's $25 one. Free shipping. 10 movies. So let's see what we got. Looper. Not bad. Is that really a horror movie, though? Whatever. Pet Sematary. I don't know if that's the original or not. Or the new one. I actually kind of like the remake. It's the original. No, wait. Is it? I can't tell. Before I Go to Sleep. Never heard of it. The Omen. That's the original, I think. The Nun. We saw the second Nun movie. I think I saw the first, but the second one was pretty good. I saw it in the theater. It was like I think the first one's the same way, too. I like it because it's like a mystery horror movie. Oh, wow. They got a Love at First Bite and Once Bitten 2-pack. I'm pretty sure it's Jim Carrey that's in Once Bitten. I think it's like his first movie. Vampire movie. It's pretty decent. Oh, God. They have 2 of the Twilight movies in there. That's what I'm saying. Like, I have no interest in those movies at all. And the problem with Blu-rays, it's like you can't even necessarily even sell them for anything. Let's see. There's Salem's Lot, the original, for $9. What else have we got here? Here's 7 for 24 and change. We've got The Haunting in Connecticut, The Uninvited, Saw 5, A Monster Calls, My Bloody Valentine 3D, the Saw 7 film collection, so that's actually pretty good. And then Flatliners. Is that the original Flatliners? I'm pretty sure they remade Flatliners at some point. 7 film collection. That's more than 7 movies then. Oh, look at this. $20 for the first 3 Critters movies. The first Critters is awesome. Like, I like the first Critters more than Gremlins, and Gremlins is classic. But Critters was just great. Like, the Critters actually break out of, like, a prison on a moon somewhere, steal a ship, end up on Earth. Like, oh, it's a great movie. The King of Horror collection. This is a Stephen King collection. It's 4 movies. You've got It, Cat's Eye, The Shining, and Salem's Lot. And then they have all 4 on the cover. The cat, the red rum, the balloon from it, and the cross. Also, it's Stanley Kubrick's The Shining that's in there, and it's the made-for-TV It. Cat's Eye. I don't. I think Salem's Lot was actually in the theater whenever it came out. I don't think that was made for TV. For horror Blu-rays, I've never heard of these. Dollface, Tidal Wave, Mega Shark versus Mecha Shark. That had to have been a Sci-Fi original at some point. Sci-Fi always used to do that. Ice spiders, Yeti, something like a lot of earthquake ones and shit, ice quakes and stuff. Like this is way before Sharknado. They were pumping these things out every Saturday, and they were so cheesy, but they were great. And now some of those make it into the movies, like Geostorm or Moonfall. Yeah, it's just so hard to find a lot where you especially you want everything. You can't expect that. Yeah, let me look at this one to end it. This has a startup. This is a starting price of $28. So it doesn't have a thing. Mommy 25th Anniversary. I never heard of that movie. Halloween triple feature. I don't know what's in there. I'll have to look. Friday 13th Uncut, The Raven, The Conjuring 2, Sinister Puppet Master, Saw 5 again, Saw 6, and Saw 7. Oh, it's the Halloween collection, so it's got a H2O, Curse of Michael Myers, Resurrection in it. Oh, it's Mommy and Mommy 2. So these look like they were older movies. Yeah, it's so hard to find a good one. But anyway, I think here I will turn it off. Like I said, I want to throw these rambles in, these whispering kind of rambles, throw in some mouth sounds, or, say repeating words. I even know I didn't do a lot of that this one. Glass. Truck. Switch. Kaleidoscope. I didn't realize we have the bathroom door. I have the bathroom door open, and we got another kind of a water fountain type thing for the cat, and it makes noise. I don't even know if it's picking up. It doesn't matter. But yeah, this is just a little bit of a longer whispering ramble with some hand motions and there's some repeating of words. A few things of breathing.